Something is missing to found on Mars which helped to grow life fastly. About Mars. But the red planet Mars is by far the most intriguing possibility. There are traces of liquid water flowing in more than a billion years ago like the Earth. Traces of rainfall were never found on the planets. Circumstantial evidence shows that life can be supported on Mars and not extinct. But also in our current lives today, there are several possibilities for life on the planet. Here's what we know so far. Mars never had life on it. Despite having the same ingredients as Earth's in their basic form, e.g. watery conditions, the necessary conditions for life to form simply did not exist on Mars. All the inorganic, geological, and chemical processes continued, but there is no organic activity. The sun then stripped away Mars' atmosphere a little more than 3 billion years ago, drying up any liquid surface water and leading to Mars' current appearance. This is the best position, and it would demand that all three alleged positive tests that either have a health hazard or are contamination based. This is entirely possible, and many people believe to be default assumption. Unless and until compelling evidence pointing to either past or present life on Mars emerges, this will be the most likely remain the leading hypothesis. Mars had early life on, but it died out. In many ways, this scenario is similar to the previous one. It's not difficult to imagine a world with a thick atmosphere similarly to early Earth's, stable, liquid water on its surface, continents with rich geological diversity, volcanoes, a magnetic field, a day similar in length to ours, and temperatures can only marginally cooler on Earth's today. Many people find it difficult to believe that these conditions would not lead to life after more than a billion years, given that life appeared on Earth only a few hundred million years after its formation. The loss of the Martian atmosphere, on the other hand, has significant impact on the planet and could lead to an extinction of all life on Mars. Drilling into Mars sedimentary rock and looking for fossilized life forms, or even metamorphosed carbon-rich inclusions, could provide the evidence needed to validate this scenario. Mars had early life. It lives beneath the surface in mostly dormant form. This is the most optimistic but scientifically viable scenario for life on Mars. Perhaps life evolved early on, and when Mars' atmosphere is lost, a few extreme files remained in the state of frozen, suspended animation. Life wakes up and begins performing critical biological functions when the right conditions emerge, perhaps underground, where liquid water can occasionally flow. If this is the case, then there still may be organisms beneath the Martian surface, possibly in the shallow sands just a few feet or even inches beneath our spacecraft. We're most likely taking a single-celled life, perhaps not even reaching the complexity of a eukaryotic cell, but life on any planet other than Earth would be a scientific revolution. NASA's Perseverance rover, which successfully launched on July 30th, 2020, will gather critical soil samples to test this hypothetical scenario. This shows that there are very high chances of survival on the planet. Life was seeded in Mars until it was seeded. Naturally, a large fast-moving body impacted Earth 65 million years ago, creating Chibuluk's crater and kicking up enough material to blanket the planet in a cloud of debris, resulting in the fifth great mass extinction in Earth's history. And like many massive planets, this one most likely kicked up small piece of Earth all the way into space, similar to how impactors on Moon or Mars send meteors throughout the solar system, some of which eventually land on Earth. A few impacts, however, are likely to have opposite effect, sending Earth-borne material to other worlds such as Mars. It appears implausible that organically rich material from Earth's crust would not make it to Mars at all. Instead, whether they thrived or not, Earth-based organisms made their way to Mars and began reproducing there. Perhaps one day we will be able to reconstruct the entire history of life on Mars and determine whether any of it descended from the same common ancestors as all extant Earth life. It's an intriguing possibility that can be dismissed easily. Getting the history of Mars would be really help to know and find a way to start life on Mars. Earth-based life is believed to what have been spread to Mars. Finally, until the dawn of space age, Mars may have been truly a barren, lifeless planet, at least for a billion years. Perhaps spaceborne materials that were not completely decontaminated or sterilized landed on Mars, bringing modern Earth organisms as stowaways with them. In every astrobiologist's worst nightmare, there's a fascinating history to be discovered on another planet, but we'll contaminate with our own organisms before we learn a true history of life on the planet. In the worst case scenario, simple life on Martian origin could be surviving on Mars, but Earth life arrived and outcompeted it, causing it to extinction. This is very real, healthy fear is why, from a biological standpoint, we're often so conservative when exploring other planets and foreign worlds. As is always the case, the only way to discover the truth is to conduct more and better science with better instruments and techniques. As NASA's Perseverance rover continues to collect soil samples, the next step will be able to return them to Earth for analysis in a laboratory. If we are successful, we may be able to determine which of these 5 scenarios is most consistent with the truth about Mars within the next decade. There's still immense research that needs to be carried out in order to start life on the planet. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss any amazing video from us. Thanks for watching.